Welcome to our channel, Bravo News. Love, Legacy, and Lies. Stephen McBee Jr. confirms split from Calah Jackson in an explosive tell-all. A whisper in the cornfields. The Missouri sun had barely risen above the endless fields when Stephen McBee Jr. stepped out onto the porch of his sprawling farmhouse. The golden light painted the morning in hues of promise and heartbreak. It had been 6 weeks since Calah Jackson had left their home, her favorite green duffel bag slung over her shoulder and her silence louder than any argument they had ever shared. Stephen ran a hand through his tousled hair and stared off into the distance. Somewhere between the crops and the cameras, his love story had soured, and now he was about to tell the world the truth. In an exclusive interview scheduled for that evening with Heartland Confidential, Stephen Jr., heir to the McBee ranching empire and reality TV heartthrob, was ready to break his silence. But the question on everyone's mind was, why now? Love under the lens. Stephen Jr. and Calah Jackson had been the darlings of the McBee dynasty. Their slow-burn romance had captivated audiences, especially after Calah, an outsider to the Missouri ranch lifestyle, had chosen to trade high heels for hay bales in the name of love. Fans gushed over their chemistry, their playful banter, and the tearful proposal in the Season 1 finale. But behind the scenes, things were unraveling. It wasn't the cameras, Stephen would later admit. It wasn't the fame. It was us. We weren't the same people when the spotlight faded. Privately, Calah had confided to friends that she struggled with the tight-knit and often overbearing dynamic of the McBee family. Steve Sr. had opinions on everything, from her wardrobe to how she helped in the kitchen. He always made me feel like a guest, never a daughter, she told a friend during a spa weekend in Kansas City. Tensions grew when Stephen Jr. started taking on more leadership at the ranch and less time was spent on their future together. Wedding planning was postponed, then canceled, then nothing. The silence became the message. The Instagram clues. Before the official confirmation, fans played detective. Reddit threads exploded when Calah wiped Stephen's photos from her Instagram. The couple had once shared everything, from tractor selfies to romantic barn dances. But now her feed was suspiciously scrubbed clean. Stephen's feed remained unchanged, and fans debated whether it was a sign of heartbreak or hope. He still liked her bikini photos from a girl's trip to Tulum, but his usual flirty comments were conspicuously absent. Then came the story. A grainy, seconds-long Instagram story posted by Stephen's younger brother Jesse showed Stephen at a bar in Springfield, cozied up next to a blonde that definitely wasn't Calah. The story was deleted within minutes, but not before it was screen-recorded, reposted, and dissected by gossip blogs. Still, Stephen said nothing. Until now. The interview bombshell. The set of Heartland Confidential was rustic and intimate, perfectly curated to resemble the McBee family's barn, complete with hay bales and antique saddles. Host Kendra Bell, known for getting A-list reality stars to cry on camera, greeted Stephen Jr. with a warm smile and a bottle of McBee family whiskey. The cameras rolled, the lights dimmed, and Stephen began. "Yes," he said quietly, "Calah and I are no longer together." The internet lit up like a wildfire. I didn't want to admit it. I thought maybe if I kept holding on, she'd come back. But the truth is, we grew apart, and that's okay. Kendra asked the hard questions. Was there cheating? No, Stephen said firmly. Not on my part. And I don't believe on hers either. Was the family involved? Not directly, but living in that house, under that kind of pressure, it didn't give us space to breathe. The most emotional moment came when Kendra asked, "Do you still love her?" Stephen's voice broke. "I'll always love Calah. She gave me a kind of peace I never knew I needed." But the heartbreak was real and permanent. Calah's response. Hours after the interview aired, Calah posted a single Instagram photo. Her standing barefoot on a beach at sunset, eyes closed, face serene. The caption? Sometimes the right love happens at the wrong time. It wasn't long before People, US Weekly, and Page 6 ran with headlines, Calah breaks silence in poetic post. Stephen and Calah, timeline of a ranch romance gone wrong. Fans demand a reunion. Is there still hope? But Calah remained elusive. No interviews, no comments, only subtle shifts in her social presence, new skincare partnerships, motivational quotes, and whispers of a move to Austin. One friend revealed anonymously, Calah is doing better. She's finding herself again, and I don't think she's looking back. The family fallout. Behind the scenes of the McBee dynasty, the producers were scrambling. Stephen and Calah were not just the emotional core of the show, they were its heart. With their breakup now public, season 3 was in jeopardy. Steve Sr., always the businessman, called an emergency meeting. We pivot, he told the production crew. Stephen's heartbreak becomes the new storyline. Jesse disagreed. Let him heal, he snapped. This isn't just content, it's his life. But as contracts loomed and cameras kept rolling, it became clear heartbreak was profitable. Meanwhile, fans were divided. Some sided with Stephen, charmed by his emotional honesty. Others saw Calah as the real victim, a woman chewed up and spit out by a dynasty of men who prioritized legacy over love. The return of a flame. Then came the shocker no one expected. 2 weeks after the interview aired, a blurry paparazzi photo emerged, Stephen at a Nashville rooftop bar, this time with Lindsay Brewer, an ex-girlfriend from his pre-reality days. Speculation went into overdrive. Was this a rebound? A publicity stunt? Or something real? Stephen didn't comment, but a source close to him hinted, Lindsay was always the one that got away. Calah may have been the fairy tale, but Lindsay was the homecoming. When asked, Calah posted a single tweet. Let people move on, including me. Behind closed doors. What really caused the breakup? Some say it was the fame. Some say it was the farm. But a former production assistant shared a different story. There was a night when Calah was crying in the stable. Stephen was arguing with his dad inside. The pressure to perform as this perfect couple was killing them, and Calah said something I'll never forget. I'm not a McBee. I never will be. That moment, insiders say, was the beginning of the end. A new season, a new Stephen. As season 3 of the McBee dynasty premieres, the trailer opens not with a wedding, but with Stephen alone, saddling a horse at dawn, his voice narrating, They say if you love something, let it go. I didn't think I'd have to live that. The season promises tears, tension, and transformation. Stephen leans into ranching, brotherhood, and rebuilding. Calah is mentioned, but only in flashbacks and whispers. In the final seconds of the trailer, a woman's silhouette appears at the edge of the ranch. Fans freeze frame, analyze, speculate. Is it Lindsay? Is it a new love interest? Is Calah back? The final word. In an exclusive for Vanity Midwest, Calah finally gives her version. I loved Stephen with everything I had, but love can't fix what legacy breaks. She confirmed she was dating someone new, a kind soul not in the spotlight, and was launching a women's wellness brand inspired by her rural journey. When asked about Stephen's interview, she smiled softly. It was honest, painful, real, and I'm glad he told his truth. I just needed space to live mine. Where the heart settles. Stephen McBee Jr. now spends most mornings riding through the fog-draped hills of the family ranch. His love story with Calah may have ended, but the man who once proposed with a ring carved from hope has learned something deeper. Sometimes the dream doesn't end in I do. Sometimes it ends in growth, in silence, in peace, and maybe, just maybe, in another kind of forever. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to our channel for regular updates.